Call to order the Board of Commissioners agenda meeting for October 6th, 2020 at 4 p.m.
Yeah, looking at sites, and then we open up.
You could put yourself on mute, please, if you're not on mute. Thank you.
And I would like to please ask Susan to call the roll.
All right.
Deputy Chief Bayless,
Yes.
Director Duca. Yes. Commissioner Jones,
Present.
Ms. Keenan,
Present.
Clerk Crispo.
Present. And I will read the open meeting law into the record. In accordance with Governor Charles D. Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law 30A, Section 20, the Licensed Board of Commissioners will be convening via remote conferencing services on Tuesday, October 6th at 4 p.m. and this will air on the Quincy Access Television channel QATV 9 Government Access. And pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any
The
medium.
advisor.
Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made, whether perceived or unperceived by those present, and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. Thank you. I would like to remind everyone that if you're not speaking, to please put your microphone on mute. Thank you. And the first number.
If you're in the building, please come to the main door. Fire prevention, if you're in the building, please come to the main door if you have a visitor.
First item on the agenda is a hearing regarding Mayor Thomas P. Koch's request to the Board of License Commissioners that the Quincy's annual alcohol license renewal fee for Section 12 licensees, on-premise alcohol licensees, be waived for 2020. Mr. Mayor has submitted a letter of recommendation that the board vote to waive the 2021 renewal for all Chapter 12 licenses establishments. Here with us today is Representative for Mr. Mayor, Chris Walker.
Madam Chairwoman, through you, just very briefly, Commissioners, thank you for giving me the opportunity to say a few quick words following up on the Mayor's letter. First of all, thank you to all the Commissioners, and particularly the administrative staff in the various departments that did such a great job relative to the outdoor dining expansion that we did in the late spring and through the summer. By and large, the responses have been absolutely terrific. We've gotten a lot of positive and not much negative at all, particularly from the business owners who were the focus of that. That's why we did that. And that's in the same sort of ballpark that the mayor is bringing this request before you tonight. Obviously, our restaurant owners continue to face a very long several months ahead, depending on their businesses. And the mayor was kicking around ideas. How can we continue to be helpful? And one thing kicking around with Clerk Crispo and Susan was, we could waive the Chapter 12 renewal fee, which is $2,000, a substantial amount given the time we're in. So that's the baseline of his request. The letter, for the most part, speaks for itself. We think that this one small measure will make a difference in the operations of a number of establishments that really are going to continue to struggle over these next several months. And we really, as a city, want to do as much as we possibly can to keep as many places open during this time. So with that, Madam Chair, I would certainly open it up for questions from the board.
Thank you. Let me ask any questions, concerns from anybody on the board.
I have no questions.
Oh, go ahead,
I
Jay.
have no questions.
You have no questions. Okay, thank you. Okay, seeing none, on behalf of Mayor Thomas P. Koch's request for the Board of License Commissioners that the Quincy's annual alcohol license renewal fee for Section 12 licenses be waived for 2021. Can I get a second?
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Mr. Walker, and please
Thank you.
send our thanks to Mr. Mayor for this generous gift for the restaurant owners. I'm sure they'll appreciate it.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you.
And next on the agenda is hearing regarding the request of Quincy Chicken doing business as Popeyes Louisiana Chicken for a common victual license for the premise located at 502 Southern Artery. Proposed manager, Clarence Claro. Proposed hours of operation, 10:30 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week. And we do have attorney Christopher Harrington here and Martin Rogers, the district manager. I would like to also note that Counselor for Ward 1, Dave McCarthy, is also here, and I'm sure would like to speak on behalf of his constituents there. I will open it up to Councilor McCarthy, and well, you know what, Counselor, if you don't mind, I'll open it up to Popeyes, let them give their information of what they plan on doing here, and then we'll go right to you, Counselor. Thank you.
That's fine, thank you.
Board members, good afternoon. Thank you for having me. I think this is the first time I've been on a Zoom meeting with all of you, so seems to be working pretty well so far. As you know, the Popeyes restaurant opened on Friday at lunchtime, and it was busy. It was busy on Friday, it was busy over the weekend, and it was busy again yesterday. Personally, I went there myself Friday night at 5 o'clock. I wanted to see how busy it was. I wanted to see how well the security guards and the Quincy police details were working, handling the drive-through. On Friday night, I think they were doing the best job that they could. There was a crush of people who were all waiting to try Popeyes. They had been waiting for it to open, and they absolutely had to be there on the very first day that the place was open. And so there was a long line at the drive-through Friday night, as I said, the detail officer and the private security were doing their best to keep the line orderly and to move as many people onto the property as possible, get people off the street, and also keep order in the line getting up there. It was also busy Saturday afternoon. I went by myself at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday, and the line was backed up on Southern Artery as well. I will point out, however, that Wendy's was also backed up onto Southern Artery at 2 o'clock on Saturday. Also, their line was out onto the street, and people were making lefts across Southern Artery to try to get into Wendy's line as well. So I don't think it was entirely all Popeyes on Saturday. Monday, again, the line was controlled, it was organized, it was being managed well by the security and the police details, but it was also busy at lunchtime on Monday. I saw that for myself. And today I was there at 1:30 and drove by. And actually, as I drove by, I was running an errand. I drove by the store. There were all the cars were on the property. There were no cars on the street, blocking Southern Artery at lunchtime today. When I did a quick errand, came back 10 minutes later, there was one car on Southern Artery. And the security guards were in the process of moving that person onto the property. So we've had, it's been a busy weekend, which is a good thing. I don't think anybody wants a city to have businesses that aren't successful and profitable. We've got a couple of issues that I think are temporary problems that we have to deal with the opening of this store. And the first one is just the pent-up demand and people who've been just waiting for the Popeyes to open in Quincy and wanting to try it. And they're all kind of converging on the place at the same time, that no one seems to want to wait until next week to try the chicken sandwich. And so that's a temporary problem. And On the line with us now is Howard Heimowitz, who is an area manager for Popeyes, and he'll be able to answer some questions later as well. This initial crush time lasts generally 2 to 4 weeks, with 3 being the average. And, we've committed to have police details and security, for the first 2 weeks at least. If this place stays very busy for 3 weeks, which it might, we will obviously continue to do that, through the first 3 or 4 weeks, if the line stays busy. And then also we've just got the pandemic. We've got, with COVID-19, we just have a great number of people who are doing, takeout and not going to visit the restaurants they normally go to. And we also have a greater number of people who are reluctant to get out of their cars and walk in the store and order, so they're staying in their car, and that's adding to the problem as well. Normally in a business like this, about 60% of the cars go through the drive-through, and that's normal condition, which we expect the store should return to within a couple of weeks. We think this crush will last, as I said, about 3 weeks, and then and the management is also setting up an Uber Eats system, which is set up to become effective this week, which will cut down on the number of people trying to go through the drive-through. And they're also working on setting up an online order system with touchless delivery to people's cars. Right now, there are 4 parking spaces on the left-hand side of the building where people can come around the building, stop, and be able to just get their order and leave if they order it online. So the store is looking at doing all of those things as well. As I stated earlier, we have both of our managers are here. Mr. Howard Heimowitz is an area manager for Popeyes, and he's been involved in opening 30 stores in this area. And Howard, if you have anything to say about your experience about when the initial craziness or busyness of the stores begins to wear off, and how things return to normal.
Sure. It's about a 2 to 3 week period. Then it slows down. Our team gets better as well. So, the customer count does slow down a little bit, plus our team services them better. Plus with the addition of the Uber Eats and the curbside delivery and that kind of stuff, it's going to take a lot of the pressure off of the drive-through and the traffic buildup.
Thank you. And if you have any questions for us, we're happy to answer them.
Board members, any questions, concerns?
I have a couple of things I'd like to say, Madam Chair. The Popeyes received a special permit last year from the Zoning Board of Appeal. And at that presentation, they presented that the queuing would not be a problem and it would not spill onto Southern Artery because of the efficiency of the cooking and the way the meal is prepared, that they were able to service the vehicles that are in the queue line so that it would not be a problem. So the special permit was granted based on that presentation from their traffic engineer and the district manager at the time. So having said that, from what I saw was a problem. I did anticipate that the first couple of weeks would be busy because of the grand opening, which I believe they haven't even advertised a grand opening yet. But nonetheless, I do see it as a problem. I know they hired a couple of security guards, private guards, and had a police detail. So I'd ask the board to consider, if any license is granted, a conditional license for 30 days so that we can evaluate for the next 30 days that they improve and look at all alternative ways that they can reduce the impact on Southern Artery. But I'm prepared also that when we meet again, whatever the next date is,
November 10th.
November 10th. So I'm prepared to look at that, and unless they can really get a handle on this, I don't know that I would vote for a license for the drive-through. Just speaking for myself.
I concur with Jay.
Thank you. Councilor McCarthy, would you like to speak?
Sure, thank you. Yeah, just to follow up with what Jay Duca had just said, I think everybody knew it was going to be popular. We were hoping that, well, we were hoping for a different picture, even though we know we will probably go the next couple of weeks and see if it dies down. But I was out there the whole weekend. I'm not too far from there. And, it was all the way back to Dan Quirk's entrance. Police detail did a great job, along with the security guy that Popeyes hired also. But we're just asking for trouble on a road like that. Someone's going to come out from behind a car. I saw employees that were parking in Stop and Shop parking lot running across Southern Artery. The whole thing was a mess. So, got a lot of calls. But I'm willing to go along with Mr. Duca and whatever the board comes up with as conditions over the next couple of weeks to see how it plays out. But I think, like everybody here, thought about it long and hard, and I don't know how to solve that problem there of cars queue up unless the staff is going to be brilliantly fast. I still think that Southern Artery will bunch up and people will try to get over, like I said, all the way down to Dan Quirk's entrance, and that's not good. Someone's going to get rear-ended. We just don't have the room. Thank you.
Thank you. Ruth?
Yes, Madam Clerk, if I could just say, we've already had some complaints on COVID guidelines not being followed. So I know that the manager is at this meeting. So if he could just remind his staff there that Massachusetts has specific guidelines, and if he could just let them know what the guidelines are so that we make sure we don't have a problem with them. Thank you.
Will do. Thank you. I think that with Jay's conditions, and if you want to maybe email them with the link to the regulations for the restaurant, that would be wonderful. I'm sure they've probably seen it before, but just as a reminder. And at the recommendation of Jay Duca, I would say that we could leave it as a temporary license until the November 10th meeting. Is everybody okay with that? With the multiple conditions to be followed and the health guidelines, of course, by the state to be followed as well.
I'd like to make a motion, Madam Clerk.
Yes.
Make a motion regarding the request of Quincy Chicken doing business as Popeyes Louisiana Chicken for a common victular license for the premises located at 502 Southern Artery. Proposed manager is Clarence Clario. Proposed hours of operation 10:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week. District manager is Martin Rogers, represented by attorney Chris Harrington, and with the conditions that we revisit this on the November 10th hearing as to whether or not the impacts of Southern Artery have gone away or have they increased, and we evaluate the impacts at the November 10th hearing, whether or not we issue a full license for the drive-through window. I'll also add the applicant should know that the city is we're looking for all businesses to be successful, but in this case, not at the expense of the traffic impacts on Southern Artery.
Second.
Second that motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we'll see you on the November 10th hearing. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you November 10th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 3, hearing regarding the request of Siha Inc. doing business as Gong Cha for a common victualler license for the premise located at 7 Beale Street. Proposed manager is Paiseth Chief. Proposed hours of operation 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. 7 days a week. Hi, how are you? Paiseth, how are you? Good. Why don't you tell us, board members, what you're doing at 7 Beale Street?
So, Gong Cha is an international franchise for bubble tea, and we are hoping to open a bubble tea shop at that location.
Bubble tea, and will you be serving any food?
No, there will be just like beverages, like bubble tea.
Just beverages?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions or concerns from anyone on the board? Seeing none. Anyone in the audience?
I have a
Seeing
quick
none.
question.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
How many seats do you plan on having in your restaurant or in your bubble tea room?
16 seats.
How many?
16, 1-6.
Okay, thank you.
16 seats. Thank you. Looking for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of Seha Inc. doing business as Gong Cha for a common victualler license for the premises located at 7 Beale Street. Proposed manager is Pizeth Chia. Proposed hours of operation is 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. 7 days a week. 16 seats represented by Pizeth Chia.
Second the motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
All set. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Next is agenda item number 4, hearing regarding the request of Darcy's Village Pub, Inc., also known as the Common Market Restaurant Group, John McDonald, manager, for an alteration of the licensed premise to include an additional 1,500 square feet outside dining in the patio space. This new space will be fenced and include umbrella and tented areas adjacent to the exiting indoor restaurant. Greg McDonald and John McDonald are here, and before I let them speak, I just want to let the people in the audience know that Councilor Palmucci regrets that he was unable to make it here today, but he did write a letter of recommendation. Dear Chair Crispo, I write to support Darcy's Village Pub, Inc., also known as the Common Markets Group application to create an additional 1,500 square foot of outside dining patio space. They are a longtime neighbor in the area who keep their properties well maintained and are quick to address any concerns raised by area residents. I have the utmost confidence in the management of the establishment to the reasonable care which has expanded exterior use. I trust this should have any issues arise as a result of their expanded outdoor areas, it will be resolved quickly. Further, in the difficult times due to COVID-19 pandemic, all of us in government must do what we can to aid the community's local business, such as this one. Approving the application by the Common Market would be such aid. Be well, Brian Palmucci. And I would like to invite Greg and John to tell us a little bit about their outside dining and patio space.
Thank you for having us. I just want to thank the city for when COVID really hit with this mess that we're all in. They were really easy to work with for getting restaurants like us to get some outdoor space set up pretty quickly. We added the space that we're actually asking for today to make permanent. We already had an existing patio from years ago, and what we did is we added an outdoor tent area, and then we added another patio space too. So what you see is out there now is really what we're asking for. And the process was actually pretty smooth with the city, and expedited really fast. And so our customers got a chance to use it. They're happy with it. We haven't had any issues with the neighbors complaining or any noise issues or anything like that. And we've been living with this for several months now, and you have a feel for it, and it's really something we want to stick with going forward.
So what you're looking for is to make that structure permanent year-round, or thereabouts?
Yes. I don't think that we'll use it year-round, but I think it'll be like a 3-season type thing based on weather and whatnot.
How many seats are in there?
So it's a little funny now because of the regulations with 6 feet distancing and minimums per table and whatnot. On our cafe patio area, we have about 50 right now, and under our tent, there's about another 40 to 50 right now, and that's just all that's pretty spaced out, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What are your hours? How late are you going to keep it open?
Yeah, so right now in COVID, our cafe is only open in the evening. We're not open during the day for lunch. We used to be before. Our pub is open 7 days a week. So I would say that we would use the space 7 days a week, lunch and dinner, but the cafe area really is closed on Sundays. So we really wouldn't be using that section on Sundays.
Any other questions or concerns from anyone on the board?
Yes, Greg, this is Deputy Bales with the fire. What are your plans for heating the outside space?
So we have ordered some side panels for the patio tent area. We ordered them a couple months ago. They were on back order. We're actually supposed to get them next week. They're clear side panels, but we didn't really want to cover the whole tent area, wrap just part of it where the wind comes off the expressway. We do have currently 3 outdoor heaters that we were fortunate enough to order at the beginning of COVID, because you pretty much can't get them right now. They're 3 propane heaters. We've been dealing with those, ever since when needed. Some of them are a little bit for effect. They add a little bit of heat, but not tons of heat, not as much as I would like. We actually went and I went and met Jimmy Wong too, so we reviewed our plan with him. And we have a fire extinguisher on the tent as well.
Okay. So you submitted a plan with showing the layout with him already?
I believe he reviewed it because he came to see me. So I think he saw us on the agenda and he came on site and did a site visit. And then I went back to the fire station and I filled out some paperwork with him for the permits.
Okay. Very good.
Madam Chair, I have just a couple of questions for Greg. Hi, Greg. If you put sides on the tent, if you treat it as an outdoor space, you have to leave 50% of the tent open. If you treat it as an indoor space, then you can close all the sides. The only difference would be between indoor and outdoor. It doesn't really change the seating too much, but it would change if you wanted to do entertainment, because right now there's no indoor entertainment. So just keep that in mind. If you're closing all the sides of the tent, it then has to go by the guidelines of indoor dining.
Yeah, that's fine with us. I mean, to be honest with you, the customers really don't want it all enclosed, so we don't really plan on enclosing it all the way.
Great, thank you.
Greg, you've applied for a building permit under the temporary extension of premise permit or a regular building permit. I seen an application.
So Jay, that's our existing, I call it the paver patio. It used to be years ago the smoking patio, and it evolved into like a patio that we expanded, maybe 15 years ago. We want to put a roof over that because right now it's outdoors, and we just want to do a roof and leave all 3 sides open. So to make it a little bit more of a 3-season area, because right now we just have some umbrellas, and it basically is going to sit over that existing paver patio that's been there forever.
Oh, so that has nothing to do with the tent?
Correct, separate from what we're here today for, correct.
All right. Are you can you apply under the temporary extension of premise application? The reason I'm saying that is we want to get you up and going as quickly as possible, but I don't want to, it's still temporary the way I'm looking at it, because I'm not going to give it any zoning. We're not going to look at it as far as zoning or how many parking spaces that you're giving up. But there are some considerations you need to think about. Some of them Ruthie brought up, some of them the fire department. So, emergency lights are still going to be required, exit signs, even though it's, and that depends on whether you enclose it fully or not. So I need a little bit more information. It is a structure. It has to be anchored properly. We need permits, who's erecting it and things like that. So if you could have your tent company apply for a permit, we'll still make it as easy as possible for you, and we'll act on it quickly.
So, so Jay, on the structure that we have a permit for with the paver patio, if you want to call it, we're not here for that today, but that's has 3 exits, and we pulled a permit on that already. Yeah. So on the tent, we filed online for the tent permit already.
Okay.
And that's already we already did that. We can add emergency lights. I hadn't thought about that, to be honest with you. So we can add that. That's not a problem. And with regards to the last section, that cafe section, if you will, that's really what we've been using since COVID. So it's
okay.
Kind of as is completed. It's really doesn't have a roof or anything. It's just open space.
Yeah, that patio, I remember, now I understand. I remember seeing that, and that was not an issue. I think that permit was already issued or is ready to be issued almost.
Yep.
But the tent is, you should apply for that, and you say you already did?
Yeah, I did it online.
All right, so we're all on the same page with health and fire and building. We'll just make sure, we got all the bells and whistles that we need, and we'll get you going really quickly. So I'll look for that first thing in the morning.
Okay, yeah, we ended up buying the tent because we didn't want to rent it. We got a pretty good, there was a business that was closing, and we were able to buy our own tent. So I think it's a better thing for us, yeah.
Okay, and you have somebody who's going to erect it, obviously.
Yeah, definitely
How
not.
big is the tent? How big is it?
It's 15 by 30.
Okay, thank you, Greg.
And Jay, and just so the board is aware, because this is making the licensed premise where alcohol is served permanent, this has to go through the ABCC licensing process too. So that'll take a little time.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
So in regards to the 1,500 square feet of outside dining and patio space at Darcy's Village Pub, Inc., also known as the Common Market, I would suggest a motion with the contingency that the emergency lighting be put on as well.
I think we could as long as he's getting a permit, we energize, the fire department will approve it, and health will also approve it. So we can take care of that internally, Nicole.
Okay.
I don't think we need to condition it.
Okay, so just looking for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of Darcy's Village Pub, Inc., also known as the Common Market Restaurant Group, John McDonald, manager, for an alteration of the licensed premises to include an additional 1,500 square feet of outside dining and patio space. The new space will be fenced in and include umbrella and tented areas adjacent to the existing indoor restaurant, represented by Greg McDonald and John McDonald.
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All set. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you for your help. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That does conclude our agenda items this evening. Other business, we do have Massachusetts State Lottery Commission request for Keno license at 7-Eleven at 678 Adams Street, 230 Washington Street, 363 Hancock Street, and 751 East Squantum Street. And I'm also looking for a motion to accept the minutes from the September 8th, 2020 meeting and waive the reading.
Motion made.
Second.
Okay. And the next hearing will be on October 13th, 2 weeks in a row due to early voting, which will begin on October 17th. Give myself a little plug there. Early voting will begin on October 17th. I thank you all for coming and looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Aye.
Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.